So good evening everybody, welcome. It is Thursday night and a bit of a mad rush to get the stream up and running, so apologies to all in the Discord waiting for those drivers instructions. I basically finished my work day with 20 minutes to go, so thank you very much for your patience everyone. It is the last race of this 7 race season. Remember, we did cut the season short. We are racing around Bathurst, so Mount Panorama. Let's just get the qualifying up in the background, and with me in the virtual commentary box, who is going to be driving, is Ashley. Ashley, how are you this evening? So I guess Ashley is not able to hear me. So what we'll do is just remove Ashley's sound, but essentially guys, it is the final round, and Shark Racing is right up there in the front. He has been able to just about wrap this up, but it's all about being able to bring it home, as anything can happen. The battle for a second, third and fourth, however, that is still very much open. There's just about 40 points separating 4 drivers, so any one of those drivers are able to bring that home. I think that was the problem. There we go, I was hearing myself, so apologies Ashley that it wasn't you, but I was hearing myself in the game chat itself, so that should all be good. But as mentioned, a Mount Panorama and an absolute crack of a track. There are 23 corners in total, and we do have our camera up on Jake's. Let's just have a little look through the field. We do have Connor. We saw that he did have a really good attempt. Brandon DeSantos, he's saying there was a bit of an echo. Brandon, just let us know whether that echo is done. Stephen, you got first dibs of the evening, saying, hey, we are live, whoop whoop. Brandon DeSantos saying, good luck, final round guys. Johan, are we streaming the Bravo tier? Yes we are. The Bravo tier server will be reset at 8:30, so just look out for that. Johan, we're really looking forward to catching the last of the races for the Bravo tier. A little look at Ronaldo. We saw that he had a really good race at Kalami, but unfortunately not being able to bring it home at the end there. Butler Racing, a new driver who has joined us this evening. I don't have much information on him, but I'm sure we'll definitely find out more as this race goes on. Then we have Jason, that is Hazard 101 in his Honda. He had a really good start to the season, but unfortunately as that season went on, he just hasn't been able to keep those points higher up. Morris is looking for a good result here. He's really had a tricky championship this season. Being tagged, he said that of 6 races he was tagged 5 of them, so he'll be looking to have a nice clean race this evening. Then that is Memo in the Lexus for the Chasing Beavers, the only Chasing Beaver driver here in the Alpha tier. He's looking for a good result. And then we have Jacques Racing. All he needs to do is just bring it home, and he will be able to wrap up yet another season to his belt. Duppy in the Honda for car number 14. We know that in the Project Cars season is that it was on this very track where Duppy won his first SARCO championship, as we see him going a little bit too deep there. And there in shot our championship leader, that is Jacques Racing, going down the mountain section. Now he'll come through turn number 18, so that's down the Forest Elbow. Then a massive long straight. This is the Conrad straight, and the car's getting just to around about 280 kilometers an hour. Once they get into that braking zone through the chase, very tricky to overtake on this track, especially up the mountain area. But coming down into turn number 21, that is an opportunity for an overtake, and it's all about who will be the bravest. Then down in the pit is our official safety car. That is the 69 in the SARCO colors. So currently Morris is the fastest on track, a 2:04. But I do know that some of those qualifying times should get down into the low 23s, possibly even a 22. And you can see Morris using most of that curb coming out of turn number 21. We'll just keep the camera here on Morris as he gets ready to cross the line. 2:04, so just going a little bit faster, but not making too much of a difference. Jakes, he closes up just a little bit. There we go. Thank you, Brandon Santos. So he's just confirmed that Butler Racing, that is actually Brett, who was formerly as Eleanor Bad Bull. So he's got himself a new PSN ID, so that makes more sense. Thank you very much for that. Ashley crosses the line. He's up into third place. And just want to see where Connor is. Where's Connor? There he is there. So he's heading up the mountain straight. So he'll now go into turn number 2. That is Griffin's Bend. Now up through turn number 3, then into the cutting. The guys will be braking hard, going down into first gear, letting that car rotate, then accelerating flat up here through turn number 5. Then it's whether you keep it pinned or come off here through turn number 6. You can see how close the guys get to the wall. Then through 7, that's definitely flat. 8 is flat. Then up through turn number 9, it's only the brave that will keep that car flat. Then into Skyline on the brakes, down into third gear, just help get that car settled. Then again down into second. Some guys will ride turn number 14 in first gear. Some will go down into second. Some will go down into first. Some will keep it into second. I like just to get it into first, just quickly get that nose dipped in, and then get yourself on your way once again. So out in front, the times are quite close between the two green Mambas. Jacques Racing, he is 1.1 seconds off Morris's time, so he does not seem like he's too comfortable at this stage. But we will still have this one lap to go to see whether he will be able to get himself further up the order. So we see Gerard Vosloo, he has joined us to say how's it. So guys, while we are just waiting for the start of this race, we can see there is 1 minute left to go. Ooh, you can see how Jacques getting that very wrong through the braking zone, approaching into turn number 12. That car just kicking left and right. So that is Jacques now deciding that that is all she wrote. Currently Jake's in second place. Morris is still on the lap. Will we see a 22? So that is a very good question there, Stephen. What has happened to the Rainmaster, aka Paul? You can hear how Morris using those change downs to help get that car slowed down. Morris currently on the Conrad straight. Very neat and tidy through both turns 21 and turn 22. We'll keep the camera on him. Now into Murray's Does he get that car up on the curb, and he crosses the line, but not able to go any quicker. But Morris will take pole position here, and I'm pretty sure that he'll be really happy with that. So guys, we are just going to exit here and get ready to go into the start of the race. So we will be back shortly. So there we go, guys. This is currently the full formation lap, and the reason we do this is so that it gives us time to get the okay, have sound now. Thank you very much, Mr. Colin Hasty. Hola, how are you doing, sir? So Stephen, if you are looking to come and have some discussions, tell me how you're finding this track. Feel free to jump into our Discord. We always do enjoy having some to talk to during the races. And just remember to the Bravo tier guys that your race will be reset in approximately 13 minutes. So just ensure that you get as much practice time as possible. But I must say it is really, really awesome to see the two green Mumbas out in front there. Followed by a Connor for NASCAR. Then it is Ashley. So it is green Mumbas, then NASCAR. Then we have Jacques Racing for Eleanor. Then we've got Ronaldo in 6th place, followed by Jason in 7th. Honestly, I did think that he would be a little bit higher up. Remember, he's in 8th place with Duppy in 9 and Brett down in 10th position. And our SARCO official pace car in the pits, just making sure that we have an eye on everyone. So you can see all the drivers weaving left to right, right to left, depending on which side of the fence you're sitting. But trying to get the heat in those tires. You can see they're accelerating, braking, making sure there's heat in the tires as well as the brakes. Understanding that you need all of those turned on as you go up the mountain. You don't really need too much brakes going up there, but it is coming down. That is essentially where you start needing those brakes to be working and up into temperature. So I heard the little click in my ear. That is Stephen who's joined. Stephen, welcome, welcome, welcome. Just kind of grabbed you out of your Facebook stream that you were watching. How are you this evening?
Not too new at all. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, this race.
So the little comment that I put up on the intro is I said, for you to win, first you need to finish. What are your thoughts about this track?
Oof. Yeah, to finish is another question. It's about not doing a mistake or hitting a wall or being involved in any accidents. That is the question. The finishing part, I don't see a problem with it. All the other little barriers in front of me is the next question.
So that is the green light, Stephen, and we are officially racing in the final round of our Japanese tour. And I must say, what a great season it has been. But all 10 drivers being very, very cautious. They're going into turn number 1. And it is going to be the domination of the GTRs, it looks like, this evening. Connor's been able to get a jump on Jake's going up the mountain straight. So Jake's now down into 4th place, and Ashley, he's down in 5th. But it does look like Jacques Racing is moving up the order there. Was there a little bump there? Because it looks like Jacques has dropped down the order as we just wait for the standings just to catch themselves up. But there's Marius out in front.
Getting some tight racing here tonight.
So we see that Marius starting to open a 0.9 gap between himself and the youngster that is Connor. And Jake's half a second behind him, and this is where it's I think that the Hondas are going to come to their own. They definitely have the advantage in terms of the grip going down the mountain, but as soon as they get back onto that Conrad straight, I think that's where the Nissans are going to completely outpower the Hondas.
Yeah, the Nissans are another car to drive today. It hasn't been like the easiest car, but what I've been hearing with the Hondas and the Lexus, yeah, it sounds like it's going to be the Nissan finish, I think, in Alpha and Bravo.
So I do see that Jacques Racing has got himself back to 5th place. So it looked like there was a little bit of a touch as the guys were going up turn number 3 towards the cutting, and just opened up a little bit of a gap between the first 3 out in front. Then Ashley, Jacques, and then Ronaldo. but it does look like Jason is going to have an almighty battle, because not only does he have Memo behind him in that Lexus, but he's got a whole bunch of Hondas out in front of him, and what a great shot there. It is Marius, Connor, Jakes, Ashley, Jacques, Ronaldo, Jason, Memo, Duppy, and then right in the front, at the back there, that is Brett. So we managed to get all cars on the same shot. How awesome is that?
It is crazy. That is, you don't just get that every day.
So Morris definitely is starting to put some breathing space between himself and Connor, right up against that wall. It is so good to see. And what I'm liking is that the guys are really attacking hard there. That little curb, I must say, I did some practice laps earlier on, and I kept clipping that curb because it's so inviting in project cars. You can get the car up there and it helps you rotate, but here I kept bouncing off that curb and putting it into the wall, and man, oh man, was I frustrated.
Don't worry, I saw some of those laps.
So, Stephen, it's been great having you. Thank you very much, and good night.
Should have recorded some of those laps.
Oh man, I'm so glad that I didn't. I was so frustrated. And I must say that
Can you imagine?
I was driving in the Honda. I was feeling pretty confident, and it's a track that I realized that in my project cars career, I've done over 11,000 kilometers on this track. So you're instinctively just turning in at certain places and go, hold on, I have to relearn how to drive the car around the track that I've learned so well. So it looked like Connor went a little bit too deep there, which has put Jakes right behind him. You can see 0.2 of a second. Now they're going to the brakes into Hell Corner, and you can just see it looks like it's a nice smooth straight, but you can see the bumps and the changes of the elevation on that track as they head up the mountain straight towards Griffiths Bend. So I do see that we've got Jason deciding to go into the pits, but that looks like that's damage on his car. So he's definitely caught a wall somewhere. So that might take a couple of seconds there for him to get that rectified.
I wonder what happened to him, because I didn't see anything.
So currently we are looking at the battle between Brett and Duppy. Duppy in the 14 Honda, and Brett, one of our Australian internationals, is up at 4 o'clock in the morning on a Friday morning so that he is able to come and race with us. I'll talk about dedication.
Yeah, that is, like I said, I'll take my hat off to him, because I would rather be in bed. I enjoy my sleep, but like I said, we need more guys like him.
So just seeing that it is getting a little bit congested from second, third, fourth and fifth. So any one of those drivers are still looking for the two spots on the podium. And there goes the green number contract driver, Morris, out in front, where he's got Connor behind him, 2.8 seconds, and then Jakes, who's 3 seconds behind. And I'm almost wondering where Jakes might be feeling that Connor is just holding him up just a little bit. Will he have a look around the outside? Connor decides just to squeeze and just close that door a little bit. But Jake should be able to, because he was on the outside, get a better drive coming out of Murray's. But it still doesn't look like he has been able to put enough pressure. But is this the time now? So Jake's right up behind, and I just wish we could change the camera. So jump into that cockpit with Jake's and just see what it's like from his view. But I think you should try and get it up on the inside. But you can see Connor getting that car in the middle of the track, and that is the best way to protect your line, because there's no space either side. But really good driving from not only Connor but also Jake's, just waiting for that moment. But by driving like that, you can see Ashley now starting to close up. And not only Ashley, there's Jacques Racing, our championship leader.
Yeah, I'm actually so surprised to see him down the order like this. I wonder if he's playing the waiting game, or is he gonna pounce at the last minute? Because, jeez. Like I said, I'm very surprised to see him qualifying so low.
So we have seen Jacques qualify just about on pole position every race this season. Yeah.
That is correct.
So to the Bravo tier, guys, we have 3 minutes left for your server to be reset. Just going to have one quick last look just to make sure that everything is as it needs to be. Just make sure that we are indeed on the Bravo's server. So the 25 minutes practice, there we go, that is correct at 100%.
That's an Ash move.
No, so look, in all honesty, it actually wasn't Ash's fault. Is what I'd done is I set an automatic restart so that I didn't have to restart it. And it was one of the things that I would normally check, and I didn't think to tell Ashley, so the server reset by itself. So promise you and apologies, guys, it definitely was not Ash's fault. That was on me. But at least I have removed that. But look at that, the first 5 drivers are coming past the camera. It is Morris that still leads here, lap number 4. Then it is Connor, Jakes, Ashley, and Jacques Racing. Then Ronaldo 9 seconds behind. But look at that, Memo giving him an absolute ding-dong battle.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy, man.
So that's a good run for Memo. Looks like he's got the run. Will he try and go around the outside? Oh, Ronaldo outbrakes himself, puts it into the wall, and Memo is now able to get his Lexus up into a 7th position. Oh,
it's such a pity.
Into 6th place. Apologies.
Memo was in 6th, yeah, that is correct.
So I do see that Jakes has dropped back just a little bit between himself and Connor, and Ashley goes very, very deep. So I think he must have got that braking point a little bit wrong. So to the Bravo tiers, your server is now officially being reset. So that is now open for your practice. So Jacques putting a lot of pressure on the back of Ashley now.
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting to see whether he's going to do the overtake is another question.
But that's the thing, is that if you get all the cars exiting out of the corner at the same time, it makes it very difficult to get an advantage. Because
it does.
Once you get to the end of the straight, everybody's doing the same speed.
Yeah, it is crazy. Like the overtaking on this it's down the straight for you, because that's where your overtaking is going to be, and it's going to be you have to plan that very well.
What I would have wanted to ask Connor is, do you have enough fuel? Because if we remember last week, Connor was in 3rd place. He had Cheetah and the last corner to go through, and he ran out of fuel, which means he did not earn any points due to retirement. So Jacques Racing getting up on the inside of Ashley. Is that enough there for him? Will he be able to sneak up on the inside? No, he decides to rather let Ashley go through, because now it's going to be a single file back up the mountain. So I just wanted to know, here through turn number 6, Stephen, are you flat or do you have a little lift off?
I have a low lift off, yeah.
Okay, so just as an FYI, my Honda was flat through there.
Okay, yeah, you're a bit, you hit the wall a couple of times.
That corner, however, was another story. Oh man. You see, Jake's just picking up a little bit of dirt there into turn number 12, just before the S's. But Jakes does seem to be closing back down on Connor. There's Connor in 2nd place. Then it is... there's Jakes. It looks like Jakes has made a mistake. There's damage on the side of Jakes' car because it's actually Ashley who's in
third. Is that correct? Yeah, it looks like it.
I have got so confused because all of a sudden Marius, who was the race leader, he's got damage on the side of his car, which now puts Connor out in front, Ashley now second, and Jakes in third place. Jacques Racing in third place, apologies. So it looks like the numbers, you can see Jakes now going to the pits. I wonder whether Marius will set up for the pits as well, but he's definitely struggling to get this car home, and you can see the amount of damage on it. So it looks like he's made a mistake up in the mountain somewhere.
Yeah, and when you make a mistake, it's not a small mistake. These cars are flying, so when you have damage, it's going to be bad. It's not just a little scratch on a fender. No, it's more like a whole suspension damage. That's what it looks like.
So there you have it. We now have a new race leader, and that is the youngster Connor in his Honda out in front.
I think it's his first time leading a race.
I hope that was lag, because that's not what we want to see, is Connor throwing away an opportunity like that.
Yeah, it looked like it was lag. It didn't look like it touched the wall. Or was it?
So I'm not seeing the damage on the side of his car. Oh, that was an accident. That looked like Connor lost the rear there as he came out of turn number 15, and now I'm pretty sure he's going to have the two Nissans right behind him as they head down the Conrad Straight. That's going to definitely carry a little bit of damage. We'll see as he goes past. So
yeah, I wonder if he has picked up damage.
I'm not really.
I don't see anything.
I was going to say I'm not really seeing the damage on the side of the car. So maybe he was able to keep that off the wall.
Or if he did touch the wall, it was very minimal.
And you can see that these guys... Oh, there we go. So Connor is now heading into the pits. I wonder whether that's the indication of that damage, which now releases Ashley out in front. And just behind is your championship leader, Jacques Racing.
Yeah.
Morris has been in the pits for a very, very long time.
Yeah, I think he's got suspension damage. That's a pity. That is a pity.
So
but now I wonder if Jake's touched him when he was busy coming out, or did he not see him? Because you actually don't see what happened to Jake's in that whole section that disappears for a bit. So I wonder if them two got tangled up again.
What I've just realized is you're not actually seeing what I'm seeing.
No.
So I am able to rectify that. Apologies, Stephen.
No, not a problem. I have got the whole screen on my computer, yes, so I'm busy watching off the stream.
This will, however, make it a lot easier. So now we do have a Connor. So it looks like Connor's stop wasn't for damage. It was just for him to get in, because he did go in and out of the pits really, really quickly. So I do believe that that was possibly just a strategic pit stop. But the battle out in front is Ashley versus Jacques Racing. 28 minutes left of this race. Our second car is now able to just jump into the next session, just so we're able to keep track of what is happening there. So Jake's currently 3 seconds behind Connor. So even though Jake's had a little bit of damage, it doesn't look like he's completely out of this.
Kind of he's still in there with the chance. You just can't do any more mistakes, and he should be up there challenging for first place. Well, holding on Jake's there, more jobs. Quite steady, quite nicely. He's going to the ground, so looks like he has a solid setup there. So, he's doing too bad. Oh! That was a hard knock.
Yeah, so that definitely is going to release Jacques Racing out in front, because that was definitely contact there by Ashley, getting it a little bit too deep, coming down the elbow and smacking that wall on the outside. And you can see that Jacques is now just looking for that opportunity.
And that's that thing with business, and if you don't take that corner tight, you're going to be smacking that wall a lot of times. It is such a tricky corner. You gotta hug that corner so tight. It actually looks like you right on top of the barrier when you sit inside the cockpit.
Yeah, you do kind of take for granted how long that radius generally is. And I did accelerator 1 or 2 times and put it into the wall, exactly like we saw there from Ashley.
Yeah, it is crazy.
So Jake's is 5.5 seconds behind Connor, and I just want to see what sort of damage we're playing with on Jake's car. So we can see that there is a bit of front and side damage.
Yeah.
So that front has definitely taken a bit of a knock. So you can see 6.2 seconds. So Jake's is definitely losing time to Connor, who's the highest of the drivers that have pitted. So Brett will still need to go into the pits, and we still have Memo, Jacques and Ashley. But I must say, quite impressed with these two out in front. You did see Ashley bang the Forest elbow.
Yeah, he's riding like a real gangster tonight. He's making sure he's not getting at this first place. That was a bit exit out of the corner.
He definitely learned from the previous lap.
I'm sure anyone would. You don't need to hit that wall too many times.
So I'm just looking at the time. So it was 28 seconds between Memo and Ashley, and then Connor a further 4 seconds behind that. Oh, Ashley has gone very, very wide, so that's going to release Jacques Racing out in front. But Jacques decides to rather go into the pits.
I wonder if he was waiting for him to make another mistake to do that. Or was that a last-minute decision? That was interesting.
So Jacques now is in the pits. Just want to see where's Connor? Looked like Connor was on the dirt.
It did look like he took a little bit of dirt.
So Jacques is now on his way out. Connor's now coming into the last corner, so they are going to be so close together. Because now Connor will be going into the last corner. Jacques is now away. So that is the battle now for first and second place.
Sure. That is going to be so tight. And then the believe it still has to put. Ash needs to put. Memelson needs to put. So yeah, that's going to change everything up there. It looks like Memo's in the pits already. So he's in the pits, yeah. And it looks like Ronaldo's not having a great day on the track. He's also in the pits.
So I think he's still in the pits.
We're at the halfway mark. Keep pushing.
Halfway is now done and dusted. You can see Memo starting to drop down the order. That's Memo in 5th place, and there goes Brett. So where does that leave Memo when he comes out? So oh, there's Duppy. So that's the battle for 6th and 7th place. So that's positions, what you're seeing. So 6th, 7th, and 8th place. And Memo just able to get himself ahead of those 2 Hondas. So I'm pretty sure he'll be really happy with that. So looking at these current positions, that's Memo actually up into 5th place because Brett still needs to put himself in the pit. So that's a great effort there by Memo.
No, definitely.
So there we go. Ashley now going into the pits, and that gap was 28 seconds. Cameraman Tim getting that all wrong. So Jacques now approaching Murray's the last corner. So Ashley has just stopped. Jacques now coming out of the last corner, taking a little bit of a curb there with him. And it looks like Ashley might be just getting a little bit of damage repaired.
Damage fixed, yeah.
And there's Morris down in 9th place. I'm sure he'll be extremely disappointed. Ashley is still there because he's got cars number 13 and 450 crossing the start finish line. So Ashley's going to be dropping even further down.
Could they even put Memo into 4th place?
Look, it quite possibly could. No, it couldn't because Duppy's already
overtook him.
Yeah. So that is our new race leader. That is Jacques Racing with Connor in 2nd place. So 5.4 seconds is the gap there. So Ashley has now come out. So he is in 3rd place. Jakes is back in the pits. Brett still needs to pit, and there's Duppy. So he's going to go ahead of Jakes. Or does he? See these positions aren't really updating. And you can see that Jason just made a move over Memo.
Yeah.
So Memo is going to be dropping down to 8th position.
Oh, looked like he touched the wall there.
Yeah, little bounce off the wall there for Duppy.
Yeah, just outbraking himself there.
So it looks like Ronaldo has called it a day. We've just seen him pop out of the screen.
Just not his day today.
So that gap between 1st and 2nd place, that was 5.3 seconds, it is now 5.1. So is Connor closing down on Jacques? 20 minutes left to go of this race. So Ronaldo, if you do come and join us on the stream, just let us know what happened, man. We definitely would like to hear from you. So there is the 2 green numbers. We saw them going past. So that is of Jakes and Marius. So it looks like Jacques Racing and Connor now doing very similar lap times because that gap is now back to 5.4.
Because he was going to 5.6 now, so Connor has actually caught up a bit.
Robert here, we see that there are 10 drivers that are in there.
Yeah, 10 drivers all waiting. Well, it's actually 9 drivers. JJ's racing, but yeah.
Oh, Connor taking a lot of curb through turn number 8.
that suicide corner, it's you don't know if you can take it full or do you back off a bit. It is yeah, it's a corner you need to concentrate and get it right. Well, when you get it right, it's like a quick lift off and back on it, just so you can settle the car down. But yes, and then you come to that next corner, you hug that corner so tight and you hope it doesn't push you wide, because that's the last thing you need.
Yeah, you got to stay off that curb. I learned the hard way. So Nemo was able to get away with that. Jason, he was actually behind Duppy, and now that Brett has gone into the pits, that's now put Jason up into 4th place, Duppy into 5th, and Memo up into 6th position.
Jason having nice races to himself, just being consistently, as always.
So our race leader Jacques has started to open a bigger gap between himself and Connor, and it looks like we've got Jake's catching himself a little bit of slipstream behind our race leader. So I'm sure he'd want to just show that he would be able to race with the guys out in front.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he is a lap down. Shots of those two Andersons flying back up the hill. Turn number 5. Yeah, then turn number 6 is. Want to keep it flat. You can just see how close Jakes is behind the race leader.
Right, yeah.
So he definitely did have the pace to be mixing it up out in front.
That is one thing about this track. When you make a mistake, it's not a small mistake. It's a bad. Oh, what just happened? Did Jock just lose it?
It does look like you had slowed down and was right up against the wall.
Yeah, I saw that. That was a bit weird. It looked like the rim just kicked up a bit. Saki, like Alex, and Jock did the same mistake there. That was a weird one.
Yep. What it has done though is it's brought Connor back into the picture.
Closer.
So he's now only 2.7 seconds. So that was up just under 6. So he has been able to cut down that gap in half.
Crazy.
So Jax will be getting those blue flags just to let him know that the second place driver is behind him. So 2.9 seconds. So Jacques has been able to just open 0.2 of a second between himself and the second place Connor. So it's just looking at Memo. He has just lost a little bit of time between himself and Duppy. He was within a second a couple of laps ago. So it does look like Duppy is getting himself back into that rhythm. And he's now opening up the gap between himself and Memo. Very confused cameraman Tim once again. And there's Jake still behind Shark Racing. So 13 minutes left, and we know that the lap times are just over 2 minutes per lap. So we should be able to get in another 6 laps or so, 5 laps or so. So Stephen, just in terms of your lap times, how's your practice worked out for you?
I'm just looking at the lap times. I'm pretty quick. So just got to keep it away from the wall and just bring it home. Because I actually need this win tonight, and just see where the rest of the drivers fall in the queue. So race pace. I think I should be able to win it and bring it home, but you never know. This track has got its own plans for you. You might think that you're gonna win it, and then yes, you have concrete to meet.
100%. So I hope you don't mind just doing the driver's briefing there for us.
Will do.
So 3-3 practice is minutes away. And there will be the 5 minutes. Jake's getting very close, if you can see, just getting out of the way there. That's the last thing you want to do is take out the race leader.
Yeah, that is the last thing he wants to do.
You can hear close Shark onto that wall, basically getting that car up onto the curb. It looks like those cars get airborne. That is in that transition from turn 7 into 8.
Yeah, it's amazing how you can see the suspension working in these cars. It is crazy.
So guys, if you have just joined us, what you're actually seeing, this is Jake's down in 8th place. Made a little bit of mistake quite early on in the race, and we are seeing him running with our race leader Jacques, but this is not for a position. This is just for pride to say, you see, I could have been racing right up in front with you. So Connor closing that gap down. 2.6 seconds is the gap between himself and the first place driver. That is Connor in the background. So we've just seen Paul Fenter saying, let's go Jacques, and Bad Bull. Paul, what happened, buddy? We thought you were going to be joining us this evening. So 1 minute 25 is left of the free practice in our Bravo tier. And guys, we will be crossing over to catch the qualifying of the Bravo tier. We'll also just get our top 3 into the lobby so we can have a chat to them while we have the qualifying of the Bravo tier in the back.
Right, so I'm gonna love and leave you and get ready for my race up under to do so. Good luck.
100%. Thanks so much, Stephen. Really appreciate the conversation. Cool, man.
Anytime. Cheers.
Enjoy the race. I promise you, we will be watching.
Sweet. Cheers.
So guys, that was Stephen from the Myuu development team joining me in the commentary box. And guys, if you do want to come and join us in the commentary box, feel free to contact us. Promise you it's more just about the conversation and having a love for racing, I suppose, which gets you in there. What I'm seeing is Connor is putting on a almighty battle, because he's got that gap now down to just under 2 seconds. So is this race done and dusted for Jacques Racing, or is Connor going to be able to get that Honda out in front? Because I definitely would not have expected to say that the Honda would be winning this race this evening. So 8.5 minutes are left of the race. So we will get another 4 laps in. So when they cross the line, how close Connor is. So 2 seconds is the gap there. And there is Brett, the Eleanor development racer. So Jake's is starting to get the blue flags waved at him, because now Connor is right up behind him. So So Paul saying he had an emergency at work, so on his way back home now, and he had to leave just as qualifying was about to start. Sorry to hear that, Paul. Would have been absolutely awesome to have seen racing with us just one last time. Just understanding that you're moving over to some PC racing, so we wish you every bit of success there. So the front three, and I say front three, it's actually the front two, because Jakes is down in 8th place. But after going into the pits and having a little bit of a mistake early on in the race, he was in 3rd place. We did see him drop down, go into the pits very, very early, and lost some places there. As Brett just about bumps Paul. But now Brett and Jake side by side, and they're going to have, Connor's going to have to contend with Brett now as well, down the Conrad straight. So Brett moving very much out the way, so great awareness there for Brett, seeing that the battle for first and second was still very much on. So the gap between Connor and the first place driver Jacques, 1.4 seconds, and it definitely seems that Connor makes up that time at the top of the hill. And as they start heading back down onto the Conrad straight, that's where the gap starts opening up. So Jake's getting more blue flags there. Is currently in the driver's briefing, so that will be starting in the next like 3 minutes or so, but we will still have 2 minutes left in this race. We'll have 1 lap to go, so we will miss the first 2 minutes of the qualifying. So what I'm seeing is that Jakes was in 8th place, and that overtake between himself and Brett actually promoted him up into 7th position. So that was a legitimate overtake there for Jakes, as Jacques goes very wide and touches the wall, and Jakes decides to rather just back out of the fight, did not want to overtake Jacques, but now he's released Connor to move into the actual second position behind the race leader. You can see 1 second is the gap there. 4.5 minutes are left. Shark taking a lot of curb into turn number 21. So this is where Connor, he has got 2 laps left to get himself into the first spot. It has been an absolutely incredible comeback here for the youngster. Came out about 5 seconds behind Jacques. That gap started opening, and now in the last couple of laps he has been able to close up the gap between himself and the first place. He did have Jake's apologies, being able to give him a bit of a toe, and that little error for Jacques Racing touching that outside wall. You can see Jacques trying to break the toe of the Honda behind him. And we see Ashley still in 3rd place, so he is just about 30 seconds behind. In 4th place is Jason. Jason having a almighty battle, but a very quiet one there on his own. So while Jakes did let Connor go through, you can see Jakes is still in the background. They're just having a fight. But this is where we know the Honda starts coming to its own. This is where the grip advantage comes back into Connor's hands. He needs needs to just keep the lines nice and tight. 0.4 of a second is the gap there. Jacques needs to make sure of this exit, and he has done so. That gap will now open up, and I'm pretty sure that Jakes won't be trying to push for an overtake there on Connor. Connor is in a second place, so you can see 1.2 seconds. So that downhill section definitely did go to Jacques Racing that time round. So we'll have one last lap. So we'll get the confirmation that the leader is on the final lap. See Jacques' headphones turning on and off there. I'm not sure whether he is really pulling those gears as hard as he can. So back up the hill. Jacques takes a lot of curb on the inside. Connor goes a little bit wide. Jakes backs out, allows Connor to go past again. Because this is effectively the last lap of the Alpha Tier season. So there is 1 minute left to wait in the Alpha Bravo Tier Free Practice 2, which is essentially the driver's briefing slot. And they have officially started their qualifying there. So 45 seconds left here in the Alpha Tier, and Jacques doing everything he can to keep their car off the walls. So from here it's going to be a straight shot home. So a really great drive there for Jacques, qualified down in 5th place. And has been able to work himself up into the top. We did see both the green numbers having a little some damage earlier on, both pitting very early. Connor was 6 seconds behind. As you can see now, that gap 1.7 seconds. So it seemed that with Jakes behind Jacques, that was just keeping him honest. But there we have it, guys. Jacques is across the line in 1st place. Absolute phenomenal drive there for him. Connor comes home in 2nd. We'll wait for Ashley to come home in 3rd place.
Oh, that was tough. It was really tough.
So there's Ashley out of the last corner, and not too apologies, so yeah, there was a bit of gap. I saw the car in the back on there, so 3rd place there for Ashley. So there comes Jason through the last corner. So he will across the line in 4th place. Apologies. Then Duppy, who's effectively in 5th place. Great drive there for Memo. He finds himself in 6th. So Brett will be in 8th, and then Marius retiring into the pits. So guys, while we are waiting for you to join us in the Discord, I am just going to be leaving here and get ourselves into the qualifying for the Bravo tier. We will be back shortly.
What's coming, Dylan?
I'll tell you what's wrong is the Discord has frozen.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Good.
Yep. So guys, we will be back shortly. Our Discord decided that it would just freeze for a little bit. So we are just getting that back in so that we can just finish off the driver's interview. Stand by, guys, we will be back. I don't know why I did that. That's very strange. Okay, fantastic. It all seems to be working. Okay, 100%. Let's do this. So let's go to you, Ashley. Let's just check qualifying. Well, the qualifying is nearly done there. So while Ashley, you can take us through your race. Third place for you, but had a very, very interesting battle out in front. So Jacques was right on your tail for a good couple of laps. A little mistake, and then he got through, but eventually you brought it home to third.
Yeah, made a little mistake, but then Jock dived straight into the pits, and I thought, okay, I'll do the same thing the next lap. And I decided a different strategy. I decided to change the tyres, and I think that's what cost me a lot of time. And then on the way out, on my warm-up lap, the tyres weren't quite up to tyre pressure, and I managed to lose it going through the mountain bits, so that lost him further time. I did manage to get up to speed again and set up some good times, but it was not enough. And yeah, well done to Jock and Connor, coming second for Team NASCAR. Well done, Connor.
Well, there was a
Thank you.
There was a stage where I went, look, it is Mambas, then NASCAR, so that was pretty awesome. And then Alan in the back there, and then that changed very, very dramatically. We didn't quite see what happened to the two Mambas, but we did see them both limping down the Conrad Straight. Let's go to you, Connor. And I've gone and changed that. So Connor, second place for you.
Yeah.
We were thinking that you might just get onto the back of Jacques there, with Jake's behind Jacques. He was creating a bit of a tow there, so you definitely were catching them, and we thought it would go down to the wire, but just not able to get the legs. It looked like down the mountain section was where you were catching him, but as soon as Jacques got onto that Conrad Straight, that gap would just open again.
Yeah, but to be honest, my tires were really not great at the end of the race. So I was kind of backing off and just bringing it home. I didn't want to crash, because when you make a mistake at Bathurst, it's a wall. It's not like Paul Ricard, for example.
100%.
So yeah.
We did
Yeah,
see
not a great race overall though.
we did see a possible little mistake for you. Did you touch the wall by any chance?
I did, yes.
Okay.
It caused me about 15 seconds of bodywork damage, but it wasn't slowing me down that much, so I decided not to fix it in the pit stop and just go for as fast as possible pit stop.
100%. Well, an absolutely great drive for you on the podium, second place for you, and a great win.
Yeah, thank you very much.
For NASCAR. Let's go to you, Jacques. Fifth place qualifying for you. It looked like it would be a really, really tough race. The Mambas were pretty fast out in front, and it just seemed that everything aligned, and you were able to keep Connor from overtaking you, even though you had Jake's fighting you. I'll say fighting in inverted commas, because he wasn't quite pushing to overtake, but he was definitely making it interesting.
Yeah, no, he definitely made it interesting. Yeah, the whole race was good. I just want to say congrats to Ash and Connor. They gave me one heck of a race, both of them, which I always enjoy. I mean, no one likes to win by 30, 40 seconds. So that was quite awesome.
I do.
And yeah, to be honest, I just arrived and drived. I actually asked Paul a few things and what I have to do, so he kind of helped me. But yeah, qualified fifth. There was so much drama after going down the hill, I think it was like 10 laps in the race, Jakes and Marius were just like tangled up with
Yeah,
each
they
other,
hit each
and
other.
then I think Ash, Connor, and myself were like drove through safely with no damage. I don't know about the other two, but I did. And yeah, I saw again Jakes was sideways down the hill, Marius was sideways again, and at the end of the race, I think I hit Jakes, like T-boned him quite a bit, or hit his front bumper down the hill, and that was about 17 seconds of damage. So I had to deal with that for the rest of the race. So it wasn't easy, but I definitely enjoyed the race. And yeah, it was a tough one. It's a really tough track. You can't just do one hot lap and think you are the bee's knees. You have to really sit down and do 20-minute stints, 40-minute stints, even an hour to get it right. So yeah, congrats to Connor and Ash again, and yeah, it was a good race.
Yeah, 100%, and that's completely
Horrid track.
That seals the deal for you, Jacques. Another championship for SARCO under your belt. An absolute great drive. And just thank you for joining us and having you racing. And I'm pretty sure that the Mumbas will still want to get their revenge.
I'm sure. Mari, I have a target on my back for Marius and Jakes.
Guys, thank you so much. We do see that the Bravotier are out on the track. They are doing their formation lap. So we'll say thank you very much, guys, and we'll jump in what's happening on the Bravotier. Thank you.
Cool. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. So, if you can just bring up to the stream, I see the guys have actually started, and pretty we have already the drive to penalties. So something was happening on the start, and he might have just got ahead a little bit too early. But out in front at the moment, Sheldon, followed by the position, is Johan BDB, followed by Orange, who has a penalty, a drive-through penalty. Behind him is Mr. Bond. Followed by Evan. And in position at the moment, we have
So I kept checking, and it did say that there was the 1 minute left to go. So I'm not sure how we missed it. But currently, Johan VDB in third place, followed very closely by Irish Dawn. But he's going to have to go in, and that's Jean, to take that drive through penalty. And I do believe that the sooner you do that, the better. And that's because at least it gives you some time to come back and attack later on in the race.
Enough time to catch the guys. If you're very lucky, some of the guys will make a couple of mistakes and then going too close.
So we can see that it is still pretty congested early on in the race. And we had Stephen in the chat bot, and it did say that his pace was feeling very good. But here we see him down in 7th place, so I'm not sure whether he had some issues with the qualifying. And he is chasing the Sim Stuff Racing driver, that is Adrian Bond. A little touch of the inside wall there from Stephen. But we do have Sheldon, who is away, and in shot, that is Reeve, a creeping apple, 1.8 seconds behind the race leader Sheldon. And Honda, listen, Honda, listen, and the two Lexuses, or Lexi, I'm not sure how you would say that, Lexuses,
Lexus is probably correct.
The two Lexuses, well, it does not sound right at all.
So you had VDD from Simpson Racing pretty well in third position. So that's just his time is down from 10 right down to 207 for race pace. like he's having a good race so far, and down to third position, and just ahead of him is creeping Apple.
I think that was...
Going into the pits, looks like he's going into this now with his drive-through penalty.
Yeah, and Stephen's gone in right behind him. So I think that's definitely a strategic move there from Stephen just to get himself out of some traffic, and hopefully he will be able to find some consistent pace later on in the race.
So out in front at the moment we have Sheldon, and then followed by Myuu, followed by Mr. Hanley. Then in the fourth position we had Marshall. So Marshall's actually third not so long ago, so he made a mistake in the back.
So it did look like Sheldon was up against the wall there, and he definitely has lost some time, because now Reeve is right up behind him. Reeve looking for opportunity, but the problem is that this is very much single file up the hill.
You see Johan going off.
Oh!
That's unlucky. He's been straight into the wall, and that's some serious damage that he's picked up there.
And Marshall was able to just stay away from him and avoid that contact. So that's the problem with that corner specifically. When you're going up the hill, if you do touch the end of the walls there just before Skyline, coming out of turn 10, you're just about flat. So it is very, very difficult to change the line there. But now we've got Reeve pushing on the outside, coming down the Conrad Straight, and we know that the GTR down here is extremely fast.
Just looked like Sheldon got a bit out of shape there. He's got a bit long in the brakes, and got into the grass, and that's allowed for Reeve to get past. And Reeve now moves up into first position, second lap, and already we've had another change of leading driver. And I'm wondering if, yeah, there we see Johan going straight into the pits, and there wasn't too much damage, but it did look like he hit that wall at kind of a pace. So let's hope he manages to repair that and get out and make some positions.
So Stephen's race is definitely going from bad to worse. A 30-second stop-go penalty for him, and we did see Adrian making those mistakes a few times. That's Stephen, I think, pushing just a little bit too hard there and spinning that car around.
It's like he's got the setup. I know during practice he was complaining that he was just not feeling the car, feeling it. This track not getting into a nice groove. So looks like he hasn't managed to resolve that issue, and it's showing today with his race pace. Still out in front, Reeve now opening up a little bit of a gap there on Sheldon. The gap has grown now to 1 second. Seems to have a little bit more pace through the mountain area here. Sheldon maybe just backing off and looking after his tyres. That's one of the things that maybe I should have done is rather than change the tyres, just maybe slow down a bit and save those tyres. Save them time. Perhaps that's the strategy for Sheldon here, just looking after those tyres and maybe use them right there. Then you see Marshall now closing on the back of Sheldon as well, so he seems to be pushing just as hard to catch his front runners.
The other interesting thing we noticed is that Connor was really, really strong up the going up the mountain. On the way down, however, it was a slightly different thing. As soon as they got into the Conrad Straight, that was where the Nissan was just able to open some legs. So this is where Sheldon's going to need to start focusing. He's on the way up and basically give himself the opportunity to close up on Reeve, who's currently in first place. You can see Reeve already flashing at some of those back markers who he has in front of him. So that is... who's that? Is that Stephen? So that is Stephen and Jean.
Absolutely, the Hondas seem to have better carry that speed through the title section, whereas the distance is a bit of a handful. And you have to time it and get that to perfection. Otherwise, you just end up sliding off into the wall. Whereas the Honda is a little more forgiving. I guess that's why they are through the hill section.
You say forgiving, but I spent possibly about an hour last night with some of the guys in the Robert here doing some practice. And man, oh man, my Project Cars lines do not work on this game, I can tell you that much. Just too many curbs touching, and you see the car just bouncing off. So Sheldon has been able to maintain their gap to 1.5 seconds, but we'll see what the difference is as they get to the end of the Conrad Straight. We should be able to get an update as they get to the sector time. So there, he has been able to gain an additional 0.2 of a second. Just having a look at some of the comments that are coming through on both Facebook and YouTube. Paul Fenton saying, well done Jacques on the win. That's a back-to-back win there for Jacques on our Assetto Corsa. And Eleanor closing out the team championship. He missed out on P2 again just on that last round. Paul Fenton saying, where's his beanie? We've got Raf who's joined us saying, go 80, have a good race, bud. And as well as Sopbien69 saying, let's go Johan VDV. And Hein McLeod cheering there for Reeve, saying go Reeve, and I'm pretty sure that he's happy with what he's seeing right now. But that's first, second, third and fourth place, just about on the same straight. They are however closing up on some back markers, which is Irish Dawn, which is Jean and Stephen. They are down in 7th and 8th place respectively.
That gap now getting even closer. You see this that gap between himself and me right down to almost half a second now. So definitely settling in. Maybe the tyres getting up to the correct pressure. Maybe it's just settling in better and finding a bit of pace. You see Reed there. Looked like he made a mistake. Was that just a glitch? Looks like it was just some sort of internet glitch there. Looks like Sheldon has closed that gap ever so slightly.
Yeah, this now down to 0.7 of a second. So that is close, and that is the back markers, that is Irish Dawn into the wall. So you can see that driving on the grass is not necessarily the right thing to do, because you can spin out so easily from there. It is better just to stay on the tarmac, but make your intention clear, make one movement, and then don't move from there. But you can see in the background there, that is Jean having a torrid time with that car, lots of damage, weaving from the one side to the next. Reeve a little bit slow into turn number 21, and it lands up putting himself quite high up on the curb. So that would have taken away some of that exit speed, which is going to allow the Sheldon to get right up behind him, and you're going to see that that gap is going to drop to just about nothing.
Looks like Sheldon just seemed to lose a bit of time there on that final corner, and he managed to get a bit of an advantage there. But I must say, when you have somebody following you behind you like that, it does add a bit of a pressure, and you probably find that Reeve's looking in his mirrors and was also trying to avoid an Irish one that was ahead of him. Just unsettled him a bit. But looks like he's found his rhythm again. Gap still down to half a second.
So I see that Adrian Bond has gone into the pits. There goes Johan, his teammate will go past him. So Johan goes back up into 4th. Adrian is still in the pits. Where is... oh, that is a very, very, very damaged looking Lexus. And that unfortunately is Ethan. I'm not sure whether he's going to be able to get this car home.
Look, these cars are a handful to drive if they have severe damage. almost impossible to get back to the pits, and you'll just try and use his best as hopefully he doesn't take anybody out in the process. So we are 30 minutes in, sorry, say 15 minutes in.
30 minutes to go.
30 minutes left to go.
So we see Yanaman, JJ the Greg has joined us saying, let's go some stuff. Currently Yanaman, they are circulating in 5th and 4th and 5th place respectively. So your team are putting on a valiant effort here this evening. But the battle we're currently watching, and this is between Reeve and Sheldon. Sheldon has been stuck behind Reeve like this for the last 3 laps now. And that is Stephen going past. You can see Stephen is in 6th place. And he's 104 seconds behind these guys in front of us. Understanding that Stephen has pitted and he had to take an additional 30-second slowdown penalty. And that is for speeding out of the pit lane.
Just looking at your hand, he's managed to move himself back into 4th position. He's a lap down. He's going to the cross there, so he's just trying to avoid. I'm not sure who that is actually. Is that Ethan? Good battle between those two.
So we'll see when they cross the line who's battling there. So that was actually Stefan.
Stefan, who was being lapped. Oh, Stefan goes very, very deep there and goes onto the gravel.
Yeah, that was out in Murray's.
So not having a very good race, down in 9th position at the moment. Doesn't seem to have found a good rhythm in that vehicle this evening. So yeah, out in front we have Reeves leading, and he's managed to open up a slight gap here between himself and Sheldon.
So we'll just see what the split times are as I go through. So 1.5 seconds, so definitely we've got a little bit more pace now. We see Stephen starting to close up on the back of Adrian Bond, so 2.6 seconds was the gap there. So we'll see once they start heading up the hill towards the cutting, they will then get another split time, and that time gap will then be updated.
Marshall's just dropping back a bit. I think he's going into the pits. He's going to be wild. He now comes to his mandatory pit stop. Continuing his race. Let's see where he comes out.
So Johan is now coming down towards turn number 21. Cameraman Tim still very, very confused there. So Johan will have the last corner to go. And Marshall is just... I'm like anxious for Marshall, because if you can see there's Johan crossing the start finish line now. So that's going to get him up into 3rd place.
Looks like Marshall's been a bit of work to that car, so what if he's damaged it somewhere, and that's perhaps why he was off the pace. He was pretty close to the front of the 2 runners at one point, 2 front runners, and now it looks like he has managed to get underway. We see old Mr. Stefan doing a bit of donuts in the background.
So still our 2 first and second place drivers still need to pit.
Let's move Johan up into 3rd position. There's a long way to go to catch these front runners.
So guys, if you have just joined us, you have missed quite an interesting start of the race. 25 minutes left. We do have Reeve out in front. He was chasing Sheldon. Sheldon made a little bit of a mistake and Reeve was able to get himself ahead. But that hasn't... but he hasn't been able to run away from Sheldon just yet. We have Johan VDV who moved himself up the order, and he's got himself into third position after the first round of pit stops. You can see the green tags are the drivers who have pitted, and it's just our two race leaders that still need to pit, but a lap ahead. 1.5 seconds. There's still a gap between Reeve, and there's a car spun around there. I think that was Steven that was facing the wrong way. That is Steven not being able to get that car fully rotated. He's stuck heading up the cutting. So at least he's now away. And it does seem like he wasn't too much of a roadblock there between the two leaders, because Sheldon 1.7 seconds behind Reeve, so they are still doing pretty close to what is happening there.
Absolutely. Fantastic battle, yeah, out in front between Reeve and Sheldon. 4 minutes left to go, and pretty much anyone's race. You mean, you saw it in the alpha tiers where the front runners, Marius, was leading by almost 10 seconds, and made a mistake going through the mountain areas, and it ended up facing the wrong way, and then just for good measure his teammates unfortunately took him out and drove into him. So very unfortunate turn of events there for the numbers in alpha tiers. But it just, what I was trying to illustrate is that this track is very unforgiving, and any little mistake through the section, through the mountains, and it's game over.
So I see that Louis Lutz he's joined us saying, how's it guys, go some stuff. What lap times are the front runners doing? So unfortunately, Louis, we're not able to tell you. I did have a look at our pace card to see whether I was able to pick up something there. All it has given me is a total time of 21 minutes. And the intervals between the two, so we're actually not sure. But race pace is around about a 2:06, I would believe. The qualifying time was up in the 2:05, so the 2:06 is pretty fair to say. So there,
from Simsub Racing about to start his 10th lap, and a good distance between him and the front runners. Right in front, we know that he did have that small incident on the first.
We are halfway through, not over yet.
We yet to go in the pits to make a couple of repairs to that vehicle. So that's sitting back a bit, but nevertheless, the cars are in front still need to pit. So that gap could close down, and if he just keeps the current pace, there's a good possibility that he could catch these cars towards the end of the race.
Yeah, I think we'll see the split now between them. That should have been where it updated, unless at that time is on another sector.
Yeah, I can't wait until sets of course give us the ability to really stream and have a... Ooh, there we go.
Oof.
Johan going off in the same place as he went off in the first couple of laps. Yeah, we need something to the same ability. But then the commentator's curse there. We see Johan hitting the wall pretty hard there, pushing a little bit too hard. But both the front, looks like the leaders have come into the pits, and it looked like Sheldon was ahead of Reeve there.
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of... So there's a change of position out in front.
So I wonder what happened there, because as you panned into that the shots of them, we saw that Sheldon had already stopped and that Reeve was coming past, so something must have happened just before that pit stop to allow Sheldon through.
So I do see that Stephen was saying that the lag is very bad. We see that he has left the race. Sheldon getting a little kick of the rear as he put that power on, coming up turn number 2.
Yeah, this is the tricky part. As soon as you come out those pits, this tyre is not quite ready for pace yet. So you got to sort of tip your toe around a little bit until you find before they get into the groove again. But you see Reeve is applying the pressure now to Sheldon, trying to get that place back. Oh, we see a back marker, and I don't know who that is. I think it's Stefan that did not see the front runners coming there, but fortunately did not end up colliding with any of them.
I think they just got up to the back of him so quickly. No, actually, that was Stefan.
I see we've lost Johan VDV as well.
So that must have been the amount of damage. There's Johan saying, bugger, this is no fun, that to drive in lag like this, so he's retired. So it obviously looks like the game is flickering like it was a couple of weeks ago. Oh, Sheldon. That's Sheldon making that mistake. So guys, as you can see, if you're looking at the stream, is that we don't really see that flickering that you're seeing.
I see a bit of lag on my side, didn't it? It's definitely some sort of performance issue with the server there.
So I definitely think that it is going to be time to change over our servers. Say thank you very much to G-Portal for your service, but we are afraid too far away from you.
Oh, there we see. Not too sure who that is. Is that Sheldon? Oh, and we see.
So that is
Sheldon and then Stefan, I think. No, it was Ethan. Looked like Sheldon and Ethan got tangled up there.
very, very strange to see. So there's Marshall. He's a couple of seconds further down the line, and he might be able to close up on the back of Sheldon, because we see Sheldon had a lot of damage. So 17 minutes left to go, and we are down to 7 drivers.
Let's try to see this on the stream, Dylan, if it's doing the same thing. What I'm seeing is just very like glitchy.
So I see Jean has now just left. So Sheldon now heading down the Conrad Straight through the chase, now into turn number 21, now into turn 22. So 16 and a half minutes left, and we're down to 5 drivers. So it looks like the guys are not really happy with driving on the serve at this stage.
Yeah, I think the driving conditions are almost unbearable. Just watching it on the stream as well, Dylan, and it's what we're seeing on our side and what they're seeing on the stream is exactly the same thing. So I think the drivers are experiencing the same thing, and That's never a good thing. So I guess we'll have to have a driver's briefing afterwards and see if we can maybe redo the race at a later stage. I think maybe that would be one option. It would be entirely up to the drivers and a vote on the drivers whether we should.
So there's Johan saying that the frame rate felt like it dropped under 10 frames per second, which made it very hard to judge the braking and turning points. So I would definitely understand that, Johan. So I must say that's definitely not what I'm seeing. So obviously what's coming through in the game and what I'm seeing are two very different things.
Obviously not. I think everyone is experiencing the same thing.
So guys, if you have just joined us, we did start off with 10 drivers, but we can see as some of them are saying that they're having difficulties, and that is in terms of the frame rate that is being experienced. So some have dropped off, but we do have Reeve who's out in front on lap number 14. There's 14 minutes left to go. We then got Sheldon in second place, Marshall in third, Adrian in fifth, Ethan in fifth place, and then the official SARCO pace car in sixth place, still in the pits. And then that's actually just having a look to see what's happening in terms of that frame rate. So that is definitely not how we would have wanted to finish off our season.
Ooh, we see Marshall going off there. I don't know if you can jump up to Marshall. Just and collect the wall.
But Marshall's going through the first corner now.
Sorry. Yeah, that was the first. Okay, so a bit of a delay.
So 13 minutes left, 5 drivers. So we've got, what's that, about 6 laps left to go.
Yeah, it's definitely not for all the drivers. I'm also not experiencing any frame loss. It seems, but then I can't speak for those drivers who have disconnected from the race. But we do have 12 and a half minutes left, and out in front, we with quite a huge gap now after we saw Sheldon going off, and then having a little bit of bumper bash with looked like Ethan. He's now a lap behind.
Ooh! Reeve got that on the curb, and it looked like that car was going to spin around, and he managed to catch it.
Now coming through the mountain section now. Seems to have great control of that car.
Oh, that car definitely looks like it gets airborne there, man.
But he's probably looking at where he is on the track and maybe feels that he can just take it easy. With 11 minutes left on the clock with looks like a 38-second lead. I'm sure he can just back off a little bit and bring that car home.
So that is Sheldon in second place. So 38 seconds is the gap there. And Sheldon was right up behind Reeve for the majority of the race. We did see them change positions just before the pits. So Sheldon has led the race at one point or another. But Reeve out in front. Then we've got Marshall 28 seconds behind Sheldon. He's in third place. Then in fourth place is Adrian Bond for some stuff racing. Then we've got that's Ethan. I think he's, as I say, it sounds like he got himself up against the wall there. So 10 minutes left. So we'll have 4 laps left plus this one.
Those 4 laps seem like eternity when you're out in front and you got a guy chasing you down. Just hoping for the race to end. But not the case with me this evening. He's had a bit of a battle with Sheldon, but unfortunately Sheldon did make that mistake and he finds himself with a Q1 lead at the moment, and I don't think that's going to change unless he makes a serious mistake somewhere. Yeah, but he seems to be very consistent throughout this race.
Yeah, I'm starting to get a little bit of lag coming through. It's like it's now not as smooth as it was earlier. It just seems to just be getting stuck now. Just looking at some of the comments, Johan Duplessis, so that's Duppy, saying it's very hard on the eyes. Johan VDB saying, pity that this is my last race on console, turned out like this, but what can you do? So it sounds like Johan is moving on to PC. Then Sorpian69 saying a lot of lag and very glitchy on the stream. Guys, apologies for that. We do rent out our servers and we can just see that now. That's definitely not nice and smooth as we want it. We will be investigating a new server provider for the start of the new season. So guys, as mentioned, this is the last race of the season, and we will be having a 2-week break before we get going once again. But we do have some really interesting news. There is a special event that will be released in a week's time, and that is on the 18th of April. There is a F400 Endurance Series drive. And I'm not sure if you remember one of the sponsors we had, Deliver Your Parcel. They've sponsored a driver to come and join their team in one of the F400 drives on the 18th of April. So guys, we will have a special event. You will be able to enter that event and get yourself a spot in that cart for the day with Deliver Your Parcel. Oh, that was Reef. We're getting very close to that wall. I honestly thought that just for a moment there that he might get himself right up there.
No, he seems to be pushing right to the end, and even with that one lead, he's not backing off.
So there's Adrian Bond now in 4th place. So pretty about all the retirements, but I'm pretty sure that Adrian is feeling nice and comfortable there in his 4th. He is looking good. Not too many scratches on the side of that car. And that's all you can ask for, is have a nice, clean, safe race and bring it home.
Absolutely. So we see now Adrian Bond crossing the line for his 17th lap. Down in 5th position we have Senior Ghost, which is Ethan. Doing some laps here in the Lexus. Finds himself in 5th position after a couple of disconnects.
So actually, just a question, will you be happy to see your GTR go?
No, actually I was really getting grips with it. Funny enough, towards, just go down to Mr. 1. Pick it up on the stream. But he did collect the ball there for a brief moment. You see some scratches on the side of the car. So you were just mentioning earlier how nice and clean that car is looking, but now he's added a few scratches and dents to that paintwork.
So are you just telling me that I have just cursed him with the
cursed
commentator's curse? Sorry, Adrian.
Yeah, like I say, I was really starting to find good pace with this car and really starting to enjoy it. So yeah, I am quite sad to see that a change is as good as a holiday, so looking forward to next season's surprise. Hopefully it's going to be just as exciting as this season. Japanese vehicles were really competitive, all of them, especially the Hondas and the Nissans, very close together. And hopefully we'll see you driving, Dylan.
So we did get some very interesting insights of what we could possibly do to get me racing again. And the more and more I've thought about this, actually, I unfortunately have to break some news to you. That's not really going to help anyway. And that's because somebody needs to physically control the PlayStation from my house. Getting the stream up is the easy part.
You're going to have to train your son. I know he's quite young, but
Listen, my son doesn't even get himself past 8 o'clock, let alone sitting here till 10 o'clock at night.
fair enough. It's going to have to be done by AI. We're going to have to investigate how we can get some sort of artificial intelligence to do this for you. Hopefully we'll have an update on just to allow us to broadcast and direct similar to what we see on the project cars, where one player can direct while the other one broadcast. That seems to work really well. That's why we're able to bring the stream a lot better than what you're seeing with a set of course at the moment.
Also, just in terms of the functionality, being able to change the cameras is anytime I try and touch something in the white menu at the top, the game crashes. So a message from Johan VDV saying that he's in a chat with Adrian Goldfinger Bond, and he's complaining that he needs a fresh nappy, so obviously he's pooping himself just a little bit. So there he is, heading down the Conrad Straight. So 2 minutes 20. Where is our race leader?
The car doesn't look too stable. I'm just watching that car of Adrian. It seems to be swerving around a bit. Not very stable. You saw him coming down the straight, so that's perhaps why he's backing a bit. But he still has a big enough lead on his marble. He's in fifth position at the moment, so Ethan.
So
for another 2 minutes.
this is it. This will be the last lap. So we've taken a lot of
Right, man,
on the
leader is on
outside.
the final lap. Give it all you can.
There's confirmation the leader is on the final lap.
Just ahead of Reeve. Let's hope that he can just get out the way. We'll see the leader coming through. We're on lap 20 of this privateer Japanese tour, the final race of the season.
Yeah, so I just want to thank everybody that has joined us, not only as a driver but also as a supporter. For the guys that have helped us in the commentary box, thank you very, very much, guys, for your support. To the development teams that have come through, and to the I suppose the lead teams helping those drivers, thank you very much, guys. Without you and without your support, none of this racing would be possible. We can't forget CT Auto Electrical, our sponsor for the season. We will be doing our final roundup of the season in the next 2 weeks. It will be done on that Monday, so just keep out a lookout for that, and followed by that Thursday when we have our special event for that Deliver Your Parcel drive in an F400 endurance go-kart. That it will be an absolute experience to remember. We did get a team together a couple of months ago and got a Team SARCO to come. We will be having a few more of those events coming up soon, so guys, just be patient. We're just trying to figure out some of the little snags, but at least we will be able to get somebody in the driver's seat. So here we go, Reeve crossing the line. He will come home in first place. An absolute great drive there for him. Finally, Reeve getting out of the trouble and getting himself up on the top spots of that podium and getting himself a win.
That's a good drive there from him. Yeah, I did have a little bit of a battle with Sheldon in the beginning, but managed to get past and has secured that position in first. In second at the moment is Sheldon. Rounds the final couple of corners to finish this long grueling race, making a little bit of a mistake, and that's what kept him a little bit behind with the pace, but he manages to come through in second position, so a well-deserved podium position finish there for him. And in third position we have Marshall, who has not had too many incidences, but managed to come home with a good clean race and a good podium position here of third. You see him crossing the line there. I'm sure he'll be glad to finish this race. Somebody going straight off there, but yeah, we have your Adrian Bond from Stuff Racing.
My one creeping up.
Managed to keep that car in a straight line. He seems to have a bit of damage. He's battling to keep the car on the circuit, but has managed to bring the Nissan home for that fourth position. And so that's a pretty good end for him.
Yeah, 100%. And just a message there for Johan VDB saying thanks so much to everyone that supported myself in Sim Stuff Racing. You have no idea how much it is appreciated. Much love. And there we have it. The final results are up there. So Adrian Bond will come home in fourth place, and then retirements from Jean, Johan, Stefan, and Steven. So if we can just get our top 3 drivers in the Discord chat, that would be much appreciated, and we can just round off the evening.
Green light, go, go, go.
All right, guys, congratulations. Let's start off with our third place driver, Marshall. That looked like it was extremely tough out there this evening.
Yeah, I can't even I can't even describe the race. To concentrate for 45 minutes on this track is the most difficult thing ever. But nonetheless, it was a good race. I struggled with the brakes and the tires though. Halfway through the race, I lost the brakes. I kept overheating them, and then my tires also started to fall off after my first pit stop. So yeah, but grateful for the podium. I don't know what happened to the rest of the guys, but yeah, maybe they got victimized by the mountain.
No, so essentially what was happening is the guys were saying that essentially what was happening is it looked like the frame rate was dropping. So a lot of them were trying to go into a braking point, but because of the frame rate, they ended up putting it in the wall. So I'm not sure whether you picked up anything like that, or did it change for you at all?
Yeah, there was a drop, but I just kept going. The same thing happened like the last time it also happened. But yeah, you struggle with your brake markers when it drops.
All right, but third place for you. I'm pretty sure that you're happy for that for the Chasing Beavers.
Yes, definitely. I'm not sure if I passed second bake on the points, but I'll wait to see.
Don't worry, we'll definitely get that out and done during our roundup, our show in the next 2 weeks. Let's go to you, Sheldon. A second place for you, an absolute cracker battle there between yourself and Reeve, chasing you for majority of the race, and then we saw a little mistake for you coming down at the end of the Conrad Straight and just overcooking it, and Reeve was able to get back into first. And then a little bit of confusion. It looked like Reeve might have touched the wall, which had you going into the pits first. Can you just take us through that?
Yeah, I think he was quite hesitant going into the pits, even the entrance. And then I think he probably overshot it a bit, which allowed me to maybe mostly ghost his car through. And I came out with quite a good gap. But that first lap out, I made a mistake. And he took, I think he took first place. And then I had a coming together on the front straight with Chicken Wing.
It was actually Ethan, his teammate, believe it or not. Yeah.
That's weird because I saw Chicken Wing in front of me.
So he was in front of you in terms of a position, but he was actually further down the track, because we honestly thought that as well. But when we went onto the camera, he was still coming down the straight.
Yeah, that's just weird because I think I was trying to pass someone. I think it was one so I was trying to lap someone. I don't know. Next minute, I just knew that my car was spun. It had quite a bit of damage, so there was no way of me catching.
Yeah, 100%.
I really enjoyed that first part of the race. It was very, at batters, I mean, for me, it was like, that's what I wanted. That's the kind of race I wanted to close off. But for me, it's job done. I needed to finish in the top 4 to close off the championship. So I'm happy with that.
100%. An absolute great season there for you, Sheldon, and an absolute great drive in the end there, getting yourself second for the evening. And unfortunately, Reeve not with us, but I would have loved to just congratulate him. Finally was able to get himself out of trouble and actually finish a race for a change. So I think that in itself is an absolute win there for Reeve. So Reeve, congratulations on your podium and taking a win. To everybody that has joined us this season, thank you so much. It does feel a bit strange to say that our Japanese tour is officially done, and we will be going on to a little 2-week break. We'll then do our season roundup, and then at least we'll be able to focus on what's coming next. So guys, thank you very much to everyone who supported the drivers, who's joined us on the streams, whether it be on Facebook or YouTube. Thank you very much. The drivers do definitely appreciate all that support. And to Ashley, my co-commentator, co-producer, there's just so many other things that you do, so thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Dylan. It's been a great season, and thank you to all the drivers for participating. And guys, just remember, if you want to get involved, the new season is coming up. Please go and register on our websites and become a member. And you can follow us on Discord to see when the races are. Actually, you can see on the SARCO website. The
Not yet. They still need to be updated.
Well, they will be there in the next couple of weeks. So please keep checking the website for the latest details. There is some else. You can get these cool caps. There's also a water bottle and some awesome facial masks that you can purchase from us. Please support us, guys. All the money that we steal from these merchandise goes towards bringing all this action to you. So the more support we have, the easier it is for us to succeed.
And we definitely are going to be changing our servers for the new season, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
So guys, thank you very much. No racing next week or the following week, but guys, just keep checking out on our social networks to see when we will be racing. If you want to come and chat to us, you can email us at info@SARCO Racing, or just check out our website. All the details on how you chat to us on the Discord are there. And all I can say, it's been an absolutely fantastic season. A lot of ups, lots of downs, some interesting talent, I'll say, coming through the ranks and being very showing us that they can compete at those levels. So really looking forward to seeing what the new season holds. So all I can say, guys, thank you very much for the support, and we're really looking forward to the next season. And until then, guys, keep racing, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. And thanks for watching. Yos.
Cheers, guys.